Hello everybody and welcome to Jonny Looks at Slay the Spire. I thought I'd do one of these just to share the game with you because I've been playing this off camera quite a bit and having a lot of fun with it. So I thought I'd share the game with you while I have my evening coffee here. And this is really just a deck building game mixed with elements of Darkest Dungeon. You'll see in a little bit. Right now it's an early access title. We have 2 characters out of the 3 available. So we're gonna go with the Ironclad, which is like a pretty nice kind of right off the bat character. We got decent HP, we gain 6 HP after every combat, we got access to a little bit of gold as well. And we're gonna go for pretty much like a vanilla run so I can describe just the fundamentals of what the game is. And, you know, perhaps you can gauge your interest in the game, maybe you want to pick it up yourself. Really fun game for now. For an early access title, I gotta say, I think a lot of what the devs want is already there in terms of progression. So I don't think this is one of those times where you're gonna be stingy about your money jumping into an early access title. But let's stop talking and start playing here. So one of the differences that you might find with other deck building games is that you have a small deck. Look at this. Got probably like around 10 cards in our deck. Yeah, 10 cards. This is our deck right here. And what happens is the cards you utilize in your turn are then discarded. They go into your draw deck. Once the remainder of the draw pile reaches 0, you draw from the discard pile back again. And so your deck is continuously just circling back and forth. And this just allows for like a consistent theme that you're going for in terms of a build. And you can see different cards have different status that they apply. Some of them just apply damage, some of them give you a block. You can see here what the enemy is planning on doing on their turn. For example, these guys are dealing 5 damage and 10 damage respectively. And let's just check this. This card applies to vulnerable. That means the unit will be vulnerable for 2 turns, so they take 50% more damage from attacks. That means that our strike, instead of doing 6 damage, you can see there it's doing 9 damage. So that's a kill right there, would be a kill, which I think it's positive. So we will take some damage here in this turn, so this guy's doing 10 damage, but because we heal 6 HP after every combat, I'm kind of okay going for this. So it's always like a balance. You want to strike a balance between attacking and defending. If you defend too much, then you might allow enemies to either cast really nasty like status effects on you and things like that, or really buff themselves to the point where they get ahead of the curve and you won't be able to win the fights. Now we're weakened. That means we're dealing 25% less damage. You can see our attacks are now dealing 4 damage, but because this guy is not gonna attack us, he's just gonna do some nasty negative attack on us, we can actually just attack and we don't even need to block here. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of an idea of how this works. So it's really based on the cards here. And what I really find cool about the game is that you, right off the bat, kind of identify a theme you want to go for. You can see here, because we applied vulnerable, we're going to be able to kill him. So there's a little bit of arithmetic going on, and I admit I'm not the greatest at this type of arithmetic. I'm much better at like abstract math, kind of like graph theory and all that kind of stuff. Never been the best at this kind of shorthand arithmetic, but we'll do our best here. So we do get a choice for a card as well. So we could go for the headbutt. So you deal 9 damage, you place a card from your discard pile on the top of your draw pile. So something you played earlier kind of gets back into the rotation faster. I think this is really positive. We'll go for that. One thing to be very mindful of is sometimes you don't want to get new cards. Sometimes you in fact want to eliminate cards from your deck in order to make it thinner. So you have like really high value cards and perhaps remove some of the lower tier cards. Just make it a overall higher value deck. So the question marks give us different kind of interactions. In this case, we can choose to buy potions, and I think we'll actually invest. We'll invest 40 gold to get 3 potions. These are things you can use in combat. So 2 energy allows you to play more cards. Weak makes the enemy weaker, dealing less damage. This will allow you to exhaust status and curse cards, which we haven't encountered yet. I think the question marks are usually very worthwhile going for, because sometimes they provide huge bonuses. So here is we could receive a relic at the cost of getting a curse card in our deck, and I think we'll do that because I believe Elixir actually removes that card from your deck. I'm not sure if it does or if it's only for the combat. We'll find out in a little bit. But regardless, so you can see the reason why I say it kind of reminds me of Darkest Dungeon is because you can kind of pick the path that you want to follow here. I think it's one of the cool aspects of it. So this is an elite enemy. It's gonna be a tough enemy for us, but they usually drop really cool relics. It looks like we got a relic right now as well. Yeah, I forgot about that. Non-boss chests now also contain cards. Cool. So, you know what? Let's go for this elite combat here. And we might want to drop... maybe remove a card from our deck at the shop as well. Alright, so this guy's gonna attack us for 12 damage. That's a little bit more than I'm willing to take right off the bat. So what we do here, I think we do like 2 blocks. We do 1 attack. We're gonna take 2 damage, but remember, we're gonna recover 6 HP at the end of this. So if we don't take more damage than this, we're gonna be fine, but that might be a little bit wishful thinking on my part. This is where I look at this and I kind of want to use an energy potion to allow us to use the most cards. So yeah, I think we're just gonna use all of our cards here. Block some of the damage. Not ideal. I was kind of hoping that he wouldn't attack twice in a row. That's a little bit too much damage for us to handle there, but regardless, I think we got more than enough here to just kill him right off the bat. Healing 6 brings us back to a nice HP level there. So we got some interesting stuff here. I feel like these aren't bad cards, but I want to skip them for now. None of them interest me to the point where I'm willing to compromise the density of my deck. I'm gonna skip them for now. I haven't yet identified like the theme of the run that I want to go for. Generally that's dictated by a relic that you get early on. So maybe you get a relic that says, you know, every time you exhaust a card you get a bonus. In that case you'd be going for exhaust cards. Maybe, you know, you have poison cards that are buffed for whatever reason. But in this case, we don't have anything like that. I do like dramatic entrance. So we would have this at the start of every combat. Dealing 6 damage to all enemies. I think that's just super high value right now. We'll invest our gold in that. And then we got a bonfire. Here we can rest and retrieve some HP, or we can actually upgrade a card, which I'm gonna do. I think we don't have any good cards right now. Our deck is like super vanilla, but we'll go for an improved bash. And we're gonna try to fight the elite here. So this is not a very difficult one, as far as I remember. Looks like he's asleep for now. Metallicize means he's gonna get 8 block at the end of every turn, I think. So right off the bat, you wanna vulnerable him. So our attacks are gonna deal more damage. He's woken up now. You do this for 0 cost. It's just a no-brainer. You deal as much damage as you can. I think he's still stunned. Yeah. Lot of damage, my dude. That's like way too much damage. You know what? Let's weaken him. That's a little bit more manageable. We'll do this. And now we got to choose what comes back on top of our draw pile. I think the Bash Plus is our best option. We're gonna deal as much damage as we can here. We're gonna lose some HP because of this curse, but we can actually drink this to remove it. It looks like it stays on our deck, it's just that it's exhausted for the combat, which is a little bit disappointing, but I kinda understand it. Would be a little bit OP to get rid of a curse that easily. Wouldn't be much of a curse, if you get what I'm saying. So we got a choice here. Because he's already weakened, we could do 2 defense, take only 3 damage, and do 1 strike, which I think is the balanced option here. Or we could go full on for damage here. But I think you go for the slightly more conservative play. Kind of hoping that he will take a turn off from attacking. We're gonna be able to deal damage ourselves. We're gonna have the bash again in order to make him vulnerable on the next turn. Remember, this is an elite enemy. It's supposed to be tough. So losing HP to him is expected. And I think at this point you really want to make him vulnerable. We'll block some of the damage, even though it's not very efficient to do it because we've lost some dexterity and strength. We'll mitigate some of the damage. Still gonna hurt us. But that's okay. We're on the verge of killing him, really. Which we got 18 damage here. It's gonna be increased. It takes 50% more damage. So that should be 36 damage. Did I do my math right there? Gonna find out in a little bit. I think I screwed up my math there. We're gonna take 18 damage. I thought he was supposed to take like twice the damage from attacks. I probably screwed up my math there. Regardless, he's dead. We're gonna recover some modicum of HP, and we got a great relic. Look at this. If you don't block at the end of your turn, you get 6 block for free. So if you put it into perspective, your base defense card costs you 1 AP to use and gives you only 5 block. I'm gonna give you a minute to absorb that while I look at these cards. Gain 12 block whenever you are attacked this turn. Deal 4 damage to the attacker. I think this is pretty positive, honestly. Kinda like it, but at the same time, I think I'm not gonna go for them. I kinda appreciate this one, but it's not that good, really. Alright, I'm gonna skip for now. And the reason is because I got Orichalcum, or however you pronounce that, what I want to do is just play without blocking and just go full on aggressive. That's what I'm gonna try to make the theme of my run. So I'm only gonna try to have aggressive cards, and I'm only ever gonna attack. And that, you know, I understand I'm gonna be taking some damage because we're only ever gonna be blocking for 6, but at the same time we won't. My hope is that we won't be getting too much damage done to us above that 6 margin. Considering that attacks usually range from like 5 to, you know, 12. There are stronger attacks on boss and elite enemies. But aside from that, I think we're gonna be alright. And then the next thing I want is some way to recover HP consistently. That would be what I'm looking for. I kinda like armaments. So armaments upgrades a card in your hand and gives you a little bit of block. But it kind of goes against what we're doing, where we're not going for any block. Lose 3 HP, deal 14 damage. It's good damage, but losing HP goes kind of counter to what I'm doing here. You know what? I'm gonna skip. And this is maybe terrible play. I'm new at the game. But I just want to experiment. This is part of the fun of the game. Just experimenting with different builds, seeing what works. Maybe we'll die horribly. It happens. Bottled Flame. Upon pickup, choose an attack card. At the start of each combat, this card will be in your hand. Dude. This one will already be in our hand every time. I think a Bash Plus right off the bat is just incredible. And then Rampage is good, so deal 8 damage every time this card is played. Increase its damage by 4 for this combat. Let's go. So every time you play it, it will do slightly more damage. Let's check out this question mark. So it's combat. So what's the play? We're gonna get 6 block for free. So you go buck wild on this guy. You vulnerable him. You then use your attack and your strike. Look at this. The guy is almost dead. We're gonna take 4 damage, but we're gonna recover 6 HP. So again, I'm kind of hoping I can establish just enough of a balance in terms of damage output that the damage I'm gonna be taking will be mitigated enough by the HP gain. And plus, we can rest at bonfires to make up for that. I like applying weak. I think it's really powerful, actually. Because we're gonna take... we're not gonna be blocking. I think it's gonna be super useful to just make enemies weak. Will maybe help us cope with that. Champion Belt. Whenever you apply vulnerable, you also apply 1 weak. That's fantastic, dude. Super good. Infernal Blade. Add a random attack to your card. It costs 0 this turn. If we had cards that cost a lot of AP, this would be fantastic, but it's not the case right now. At the end of your turn, for each attack played this turn, deal 1 damage to all enemies. This is good, because we're going to be attacking a lot. Okay, so we're dealing with tons of smaller enemies now. Lots of them are going to attack, actually, so we might want to be a little bit smart about this. We could even use this explosive potion, which will deal tons of damage to all of them, really. Ooh, and look at this. We can actually kill them all with this. Fantastic. Great use of that potion right there. Got a poison potion. Sentinel. I don't appreciate blocks. Sorry. I do like this. So this is what we're looking for. A strong hit applies weak and vulnerable. And costs 2, but that's okay. Let's go into a bonfire here. I think we gotta rest, man, because we don't have any reliable way of recovering HP at the moment, and we have 1 combat lined up. If the combat goes well, we can then choose to upgrade a card at the bonfire. But we always have the option to heal before the boss. So I think we're gonna do this. Every time we attack, we're gonna be dealing 1 extra damage to dudes. And I think here, really, you just go for the weakest enemy. So you vulnerable. You use your innate card. And your turn. We're gonna be taking damage. I don't think that was... I mean, maybe it was avoidable, actually. If we used, you know, our potions. But I kind of wanted to hold on to them. I'm okay with the idea of... oh, we're doing 6 damage only. But I think because of our power here, at the end of your turn, we'll deal 1 damage to all enemies. So he should be dead at the end of the turn. And we can weaken you. So there you're going to deal less than 6 damage, which we would block. Unless something goes wrong here. So as expected, that guy's dead. We're going to cover this guy's damage. We're healing up nicely towards that maximum HP. Again, I think applying weak is great. So we're gonna do that, and we're actually gonna like block once. So we shouldn't take any damage. Oh, actually I screwed up because I blocked, I didn't get the 6 block for free from the relic. So you can see how blocking is not efficient for us unless we use 2 blocks, in which case we would have 10 instead of 6. It really doesn't pay off to do that, so we'll just eliminate you. So slight mistake there. I like this one. If an enemy intends to attack, gain 3 strength. Let's go for it. And here we go. So we got the option to rest, but I think we're gonna upgrade a card. What do you do? This costs 0. I think that's pretty positive, dude. Let's do it. Let's go. So, boss of the first floor. For now, there are only 3 floors. I've never gotten far enough to like beat the 3 floors, but we'll see if we can get there maybe. So I think our first turn kind of plays itself really. What we want to do probably is use our strength potion and what the hell, use our poison potion as well. So the way poison works is that you can see the little number there. So he's gonna take 6 damage this time, and then the poison ticks down to 5. So the next turn he's gonna take 5 damage. So if you want to calculate the total amount he's gonna take in the long run, it's basically the summation of the number here. So that would be 6 plus 5 plus 4, you know, so that's 6 plus 5, 11, 14. So yeah, you know, around like 20 damage roughly. So it scales quite nicely actually. Something which is viable with the other character generally because he's got poison cards. I don't think this character does. Quite a bit of damage right off the bat, but we don't have any incredible cards. So at this stage the boss goes into this defensive mode where for every attack you perform he deals back some damage. That's okay. We're gonna weaken him. We're gonna headbutt. Allows us to weaken him again. So we're gonna cover all of that damage with our block, and he's like half HP down. Because he's gonna attack, we can do this to gain some extra strength there, which I think is pretty positive. I kinda like Clothesline. Making him weak for 2 turns seems super positive. Let's do that. So he's back into aggro mode. He's not gonna deal a lot of damage though, in all honesty. We wanna use Rampage because every time we use it, it becomes stronger. And I think you want to stack the weaken as much as you can. Look at that, he's almost dead. Because we dealt enough damage, we forced him into this defensive mode as well. I think you're just vulnerable and strike. We're gonna cover the damage again. You can see it's kind of working out for us, the strat that we have. And what we want to do is probably eliminate all of our defend cards in time. We're gonna again gain strength by doing this. And it's dead. That was a pretty easy boss run for us. We got a regen potion, dude. That's fantastic. Your next attack is played twice. I think we want that for sure. Let's do that. And then every boss drops a choice of 3 epic relics. So we have different options here. So gain energy at the start of each turn, but you can no longer gain gold. Or your max HP is lowered, but you draw a card every time you lose HP. Or you heal a little bit more in campfires. I think that's alright, because we're gonna be relying on those campfires to heal up, I think. Well, this would be the second floor. So you can see kind of the same, well, a different layout, but the same type of situation here. We're gonna go through it on the next episode. I hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know down below if you did. Perhaps consider picking up the game on Steam. I'll leave a link for that down below. And as always, thanks for watching. Catch you next time.